Welcome to Adoptions from Reddit, where real adoption stories come to life. Here you'll hear true stories from people who experienced adoption from different perspectives. Adoptive parents discovering unexpected truths, adoptees finding their biological families, birth parents sharing their journeys, foster care experiences, reunion stories, identity struggles, and all the emotional complexity that comes with adoption. Stories of loss and love, of finding where you belong, of difficult decisions, of heartbreak, of healing, and the raw reality of adoption. This is a real story, shared anonymously on Reddit. Some details have been changed to protect the identity of the people involved. My name is Vanessa. I'm 32 years old. I live in Austin, Texas. 4 months ago, I discovered something that made me question everything about my relationship with my sister, my adoptive sister, the person I grew up with, the person I trusted completely, the person who turned out to be living a secret life as me. She had been pretending to be me online for years, creating accounts in my name, using my photos, telling people she was me, building an entire alternate life, and I had no idea, none, until it all came crashing down in the most unexpected way possible. Let me start from the beginning. Let me tell you about my family, about how we all came together, about the cracks that were always there but I never wanted to see. I'm the biological daughter of my parents, Stephen and Patricia Martinez. I was born when they were 25. Young but ready, excited to be parents. I was their first child, their only biological child as it turned out. After I was born, my mom had complications, medical issues that made future pregnancies dangerous. The doctors advised against trying again, said it could be life-threatening. My parents were devastated. They wanted more children, wanted to give me siblings, wanted a big family. So when I was 3 years old, they decided to adopt. They wanted to give a child a home, wanted to expand our family, wanted me to have a sibling. They went through the foster system, started the process of becoming foster parents with the hope of adopting. That's how Melissa came into our lives. She was 5 years old when she was placed with us. I was 3. She had been in the system for 2 years already, bouncing between foster homes. Her story was complicated. Her biological parents had issues. The state had removed her. Parental rights were eventually terminated. She became available for adoption. My parents fell in love with her immediately. This sweet 5-year-old girl who was shy and quiet and needed a family. They started the adoption process right away. It took a year, but when I was 4 and she was 6, the adoption was finalized. Melissa became Melissa Martinez, my sister, officially, legally, forever. Growing up, we were close, or at least I thought we were. She was my big sister, 2 years older. She looked out for me, protected me. We shared a room until I was 10, and we moved to a bigger house. We played together. Fought sometimes, but always made up. Normal sister stuff, or so I believed. Looking back now, there were signs, things I didn't recognize at the time, things that seemed normal but maybe weren't. Melissa was always interested in me, in my life, in my friends, in everything I did. I thought she was just being a good sister, caring, involved. Now I wonder if it was something else, something darker. She would borrow my clothes constantly, want to dress like me, copy my hairstyles. I thought she looked up to me, wanted to be like her little sister. I was flattered, didn't think anything of it. Now I see it differently. Now I see it as the beginning of something obsessive. In high school, she struggled, socially, academically. She didn't have many friends, didn't do well in her classes. She was insecure, always comparing herself to others, always feeling less than. I tried to help, tried to include her, tried to build her confidence, but nothing seemed to work. I, on the other hand, did well. I had friends, got good grades, was involved in activities, cheerleading, student government. I wasn't trying to outshine her, wasn't trying to make her feel bad, but I could tell she resented it, resented how easy things seemed to come to me, how different our experiences were. My parents tried to treat us equally, tried to give us both attention, both support, but I could tell they worried about Melissa more. She needed more, required more intervention, more therapy, more help navigating life, and I think that created tension between all of us. After high school, I went to University of Texas, studied marketing, had a great college experience, made lifelong friends, met my future husband, did internships, built a career path. Everything went according to plan. College was good to me. Melissa went to community college, tried a few different programs, never finished anything. She moved back home after a year, said college wasn't for her. She got a job at a retail store, then quit, got another job at a restaurant. Quit that too. She couldn't seem to find her place, couldn't figure out what she wanted to do, couldn't settle into adult life. My parents were patient with her, supportive. They let her live at home, helped her financially, encouraged her to find her path, but I could tell they were frustrated, worried. They didn't understand why she struggled so much, why everything was so hard for her. I graduated college at 22, got a job at a marketing firm in Austin, moved into my own apartment, started my career. I was excited, independent, building the life I wanted. I called home regularly, visited often, stayed connected with my family. Melissa was still at home, 24 years old, working part-time, living with our parents. She seemed stuck, unable to move forward. I tried to help, offered to help her with job applications, offered to let her crash with me if she wanted to move to Austin, but she always declined, always had excuses, always seemed content to stay where she was. Then when I was 25, I met Alex at a friend's party. He was kind, funny, ambitious. We clicked immediately, started dating, fell in love, got engaged after a year. It was perfect. He was perfect. My family loved him. Well, everyone except Melissa. She was weird about it, quiet when he was around, didn't engage with him, didn't seem happy for me. When I got engaged, she congratulated me, but it felt hollow, forced, like she was saying what she was supposed to say but didn't mean it. I asked her about it, asked if something was wrong. She said no, said she was happy for me, said she was just dealing with her own stuff. I believed her, accepted her explanation, didn't push. Now I wish I had. Alex and I got married when I was 26. Beautiful wedding, all our friends and family. Melissa was a bridesmaid. She smiled in the photos, hugged me at the reception, but there was something off, something distant, something I couldn't quite name but definitely felt. After the wedding, Alex and I settled into married life. We bought a house in Austin, both had good jobs, started talking about kids. Life was good, better than good. I was happy, really happy. For the first time in a long time, everything felt right. Melissa moved to Dallas around this time, said she needed a fresh start, got a job as an administrative assistant, got her own apartment. My parents were relieved, thought she was finally finding her way, finally growing up, finally becoming independent. We stayed in touch, phone calls, texts, social media, but not as frequently as before. She was busy, I was busy. We were both living our adult lives. I missed her sometimes, missed having my sister close, but I was also glad she was figuring things out, building her own life. Then 2 years ago, I started my own business, a boutique marketing agency. Small, just me and 2 contractors, but it was mine, my dream. I had always wanted to be my own boss, to build something from scratch. And finally, I was doing it. I posted about it on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, talked about my journey, my business, my services. It was good marketing, but it was also authentic. I was proud, wanted to share, wanted to inspire others, got a good response. People were supportive, encouraging, excited for me. The business grew slowly but steadily. I got clients, built a reputation, made a name for myself in the Austin business community, did networking events, spoke on panels, started getting interviewed for local business publications. It was going well, better than I expected. Meanwhile, Melissa seemed to be doing okay too. She stayed in Dallas, kept her job, posted occasionally on social media, photos of her apartment, her life. She seemed content, settled. I was happy for her, relieved that she had found stability. Then 4 months ago, everything changed. Everything fell apart. Everything I believed about my relationship with my sister was revealed to be a lie. It started with a phone call from a woman I didn't know. She introduced herself as Jennifer, said she was a potential client, said she had heard about my work through a mutual connection, wanted to discuss a project. I was excited. New business is always good. We scheduled a call. I prepared a proposal, did my usual intake process, got ready to impress this potential client. But when we got on the call, things got strange immediately. Jennifer started talking about previous projects we had worked on together, projects I had no memory of. I was confused, told her I didn't remember working together. Asked her to clarify. She seemed confused too, insisted we had worked together last year, had emails, had contracts, had everything documented. I asked her to send me the emails, the contracts, whatever she had. I needed to see what she was talking about. She agreed, said she would forward everything, apologized for the confusion. The call ended awkwardly. I was baffled, had no idea what just happened. 20 minutes later, the emails came through. I opened them, started reading, and my blood ran cold because the emails were definitely from my business email address. But I didn't write them, had never seen them before, had no memory of these conversations. The email address was mine, exact match. The signature was mine, same format, same information, but the writing style was slightly off. The tone wasn't quite right, and the projects being discussed were ones I had never done, never even heard about. I checked my sent folder. Nothing. These emails weren't there. I checked my trash. Nothing. I checked everywhere. No record of these conversations on my end, but Jennifer had them, with my email address, with my signature, claiming to be from me. I called my husband immediately, told him what was happening. He suggested maybe my email had been hacked, that someone was using my address to scam people. It made sense. Email hacking happens. I changed my password immediately, set up two-factor authentication, thought that would solve it, but then more came. Over the next week, 3 more people contacted me, all claiming to have worked with me on projects I never did, all with emails from my address, all confused about why I didn't remember them, all showing me documentation that looked legitimate, but that I had never created. I started digging, started investigating, started trying to figure out what was happening. I discovered that someone had created accounts in my name on freelancing websites, using my name, my photos, my business information, offering services, taking on projects, communicating with clients, all while pretending to be me. But it wasn't just business. It was social media too. I found duplicate accounts on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, accounts using my name, my photos, my information, posting things I never posted, connecting with people I never met, living an entire online life as me. I was terrified. Someone was impersonating me, stealing my identity, using my reputation, taking my photos, pretending to be me, and I had no idea who or why. I reported the accounts, started the process of getting them taken down, filed a police report for identity fraud, did everything I was supposed to do, but I also started investigating, started looking at the duplicate accounts more closely, started examining the posts, the photos, the interactions, looking for clues about who could be doing this. And then I found it. The detail that made everything click into place. One of the fake Instagram accounts had posted a photo I recognized, because I had taken it, at my parents' house, last Christmas. A photo of our family Christmas tree, with decorations that were specific to our family, ornaments we had collected over years. The photo was from my phone, from my private collection, not posted anywhere public. Only someone with access to my phone or my private cloud storage could have that photo. Only someone in my inner circle. Only someone close to me. The realization hit me like a truck. This wasn't a stranger. This wasn't a random hacker. This was someone I knew, someone in my family, someone with access to my life. I thought about who it could be. Who would do this? Who would want to pretend to be me? Who had the opportunity, the access, the motivation? And only one name made sense. Only one person fit all the criteria. Melissa, my sister, my adoptive sister who had always struggled, who had always compared herself to me, who had always seemed just a little too interested in my life. I didn't want to believe it. Couldn't believe it. My sister wouldn't do this. We were family. We grew up together. She loved me. I loved her. But the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. The pieces all fit. The access, the opportunity, the motive. It had to be her. I called her, tried to sound normal, asked how she was doing. She sounded fine, normal, chatty, told me about her job, her apartment, her life. I listened, waiting for the right moment. Then I mentioned the identity issue I was having, mentioned that someone was impersonating me online. Her reaction was immediate. She got quiet, too quiet. Then she said that was terrible, asked if I knew who it was. Her voice sounded strained, nervous, not sympathetic, not concerned, defensive, guilty. I knew. Right then, I knew it was her. I didn't confront her directly. Not yet. I needed more proof. I needed to be sure. I hired a private investigator, someone who specialized in cyber investigations. I explained the situation, gave them all the information I had, asked them to find out who was behind the fake accounts. It took 2 weeks, but they found the evidence. The fake accounts were all created from IP addresses in Dallas, from Melissa's apartment building specifically. The emails were being forwarded from a separate email account that was linked to her phone number. She had been using tools to make it look like emails were coming from my address, but they were actually coming from her. The investigator found her accounts on the freelancing websites, found the projects she had done under my name, found client communications, found payment records, money going to accounts in her name. She had been taking on clients, doing work, getting paid, all while pretending to be me, all while using my reputation and credentials. She had also been living a fantasy life on social media, creating accounts that looked like me, posting photos she had taken from my phone or my social media, writing captions about a life that wasn't hers, connecting with people, making friends, having conversations, all while pretending to be me, creating an alternate reality where she was me. The investigator estimated she had been doing this for at least 3 years, maybe longer. 3 years of stealing my identity, using my name, living as me online, building a life that wasn't hers, making money off my reputation, creating relationships under false pretenses, all behind my back. I was devastated, heartbroken, furious, betrayed. My sister, the person I grew up with, the person I trusted, had been stealing my identity for years, had been pretending to be me, had been living a double life, and I had no idea. I didn't see it, didn't suspect, didn't catch on. I had to tell my parents, had to let them know what Melissa had done. I drove to their house, brought the evidence the investigator had compiled, sat them down, told them everything, showed them everything, watched their faces change from confusion to disbelief, to horror, to heartbreak. My dad was angry, wanted to know why, wanted to know how she could do this. My mom was in denial, said there had to be an explanation, that Melissa wouldn't do this, that there was a mistake, but I had proof, undeniable proof, screenshots, records, everything documented. We called Melissa together, put her on speakerphone. My dad asked her to come home, said we needed to talk about something important. She sounded nervous, asked what it was about. He said we'd discuss it when she got there. She said she'd drive down that weekend. That was 3 days away. Those 3 days were torture. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't think about anything except the confrontation that was coming. I rehearsed what I would say, how I would handle it, what I wanted from her, answers, apologies, something, anything to make sense of this betrayal. The weekend came. Melissa arrived at my parents' house on Saturday afternoon. I was already there, waiting. My parents were there too. We were all sitting in the living room, the evidence laid out on the coffee table, ready to confront her, ready to hear her explanation. She walked in smiling, hugged my mom, hugged my dad, then saw me, saw my face, saw the documents on the table. Her smile disappeared. She knew, immediately. She knew we had found out. She knew it was over. My dad started, told her we knew what she had been doing, that we had evidence, that she needed to explain herself. She stood there, silent, staring at the floor, not denying it, not defending herself, just standing there, looking guilty, looking caught. I asked her why. Why would she do this? Why would she steal my identity? Why would she pretend to be me? She looked at me with tears in her eyes, and she said something I'll never forget. She said she wanted to be me because I had everything she wanted. The career, the husband, the life, the success, everything came easy to me. While she struggled with everything, she wanted to know what it felt like, to be me, to have my life, to be the successful one, the happy one, the one everyone was proud of. She said creating the fake account started small, just looking at my social media, my photos, my posts. Then she created one fake account, just to see what it would feel like, to post as me, to be me. And people responded. People liked her, complimented her, wanted to connect with her. When she was me, it felt good. It felt validating. It felt like finally she was someone worth knowing, someone successful, someone people admired. So she created more accounts, more versions of me, living the life she wished she had, getting the attention she craved, being the person she wished she could be. Then she discovered the freelancing websites, saw that people were looking for marketing services, services I provided, services I was known for. She thought, why not? She could do the work. She had watched me, knew what I did, could figure it out, and she could make money she desperately needed since she was always struggling financially. So she created profiles on those sites, using my name, my credentials, my portfolio, my reputation. And she started getting clients, started doing projects, started making money, and it worked. Clients were happy, she was good at it, better than she expected. It boosted her confidence, made her feel capable, made her feel successful, even though it was all based on a lie, all based on stealing my identity. She said she never meant for it to go on this long, never meant for it to get this big. It was supposed to be temporary, a short-term thing while she got her life together. But it felt too good, felt too validating. She couldn't stop, didn't want to stop, wanted to keep being me, keep living as me, keep having the life she thought I had. I asked her if she realized what she had done, the harm she caused, the betrayal, the violation. She nodded, Said she knew it was wrong, knew it was terrible, but she didn't know how to stop, didn't know how to go back to being herself, being Melissa who struggled with everything, who wasn't successful, who wasn't admired, who wasn't enough. My mom was crying. My dad was silent. I was shaking with anger and hurt and confusion. This was my sister, my family, and she had been stealing from me for years. Not money, something worse. My identity, my reputation, myself. She'd been living as me while I had no idea. It was violating in a way I couldn't fully articulate. I told her she needed to take down all the accounts immediately. Stop using my name, stop contacting any clients she had acquired under my name. She agreed, said she would do it that day. I told her she needed to get help, therapy, professional help to deal with whatever was going on that made her think this was okay. She agreed to that too. But I also told her I needed space, that I couldn't be around her right now, that I needed time to process, to heal, to figure out if our relationship could survive this. She cried, said she understood, said she was sorry, so sorry, sorrier than she could express. But sorry wasn't enough. Sorry couldn't undo 3 years of lies, 3 years of identity theft, 3 years of betrayal. My parents were torn. They loved us both, wanted to support us both, but they also recognized that what Melissa did was serious, was criminal, was a massive violation. They told her they were disappointed, that they didn't understand how she could do this, but that they still loved her, still wanted to help her get the help she needed. Melissa left that day, drove back to Dallas. I stayed at my parents' house. We talked for hours about Melissa, about her struggles growing up, about the differences between us, about whether they had handled things wrong, about whether this could have been prevented. There were no good answers, just pain and confusion and complicated family dynamics. Over the next week, Melissa did take down the accounts, all of them, the social media, the freelancing profiles, everything. She sent me screenshots proving it. She also sent me a long letter, apologizing, explaining, trying to help me understand. I read it, but it didn't make me feel better. Didn't make the betrayal hurt less. I had to deal with the aftermath, contact the clients she had worked with under my name, explain what happened, apologize for the deception. Some were understanding, some were angry, some threatened legal action. It was a mess, a huge mess, that took weeks to clean up. I also had to deal with my own feelings, the violation, the betrayal, the loss of trust, not just with Melissa, but with everyone. If my own sister could do this, who else might betray me? It created paranoia, made me second-guess everything and everyone. My relationship with Alex was strained for a while. He was supportive, but he was also processing his own feelings. He had thought Melissa was family, had welcomed her into our lives, and she had been deceiving all of us. It made him question his judgment, made him wary. I started therapy, needed help processing the betrayal, the identity violation, the complicated family dynamics. My therapist helped me understand that Melissa's actions were about her own issues, her own struggles with identity and self-worth, not about me, not a reflection of my value or my relationship with her. But that didn't make it hurt less, didn't make the betrayal less real, didn't make the violation less severe. I had to grieve the sister relationship I thought I had, grieve the trust that was broken, grieve the innocence of believing family would never hurt you that way. Months passed. Melissa stayed in Dallas, started therapy like she promised. My parents talked to her regularly. I didn't, couldn't, wasn't ready. I needed more time, more space, more healing before I could even think about rebuilding a relationship with her. Then 2 months ago, something shifted. I was going through old photos, childhood photos of me and Melissa, looking at us as kids, smiling, playing, being sisters, and I felt sad for what we had lost, sad for what she must have been feeling all these years, sad for both of us. I started thinking about her struggles, the adoption, the attachment issues, the feeling of never quite belonging, never quite measuring up, never quite being enough. I thought about how hard that must have been, how painful, how isolating. I'm not excusing what she did. It was wrong. It was a violation. It was inexcusable. But I started to understand it, started to see the pain behind the actions, started to feel compassion alongside the hurt. I called my parents, told them I wanted to talk to Melissa. They arranged it. A phone call first, just the two of us. It was awkward, painful. We both cried. She apologized again. I told her I was hurt, that I didn't know if I could trust her again, but that I wanted to try, wanted to find a way forward, because she's my sister, because family is complicated, because people make mistakes, even big ones, even devastating ones. We've been talking regularly since then, building something new, not the relationship we had before. That's gone, broken, can't be repaired, but something different, something built on honesty, on acknowledgement of what happened, on real understanding of each other's struggles. Melissa is still in therapy, working through her issues, her identity struggles, her feelings of inadequacy, her attachment issues from childhood. It's hard work, but she's doing it. She's facing her demons, trying to become a healthier person. I'm proud of her for that, for doing the work, for not running away, for facing what she did and trying to change. It doesn't erase what she did, but it shows she's trying. That matters. My parents are cautiously optimistic, hopeful we can all heal from this, that our family can survive this. It won't be the same, can never be the same, but maybe it can be something honest, something real, something built on truth rather than hidden resentments and unspoken pain. I've learned a lot through this experience, about identity, about family, about trust, about forgiveness, about the complexity of human relationships, about how people can hurt you and still love you, about how love doesn't always look the way we think it should. I've learned that being adopted adds layers of complexity to identity, that Melissa's struggle with who she was, where she came from, whether she belonged, all contributed to her actions. It doesn't excuse them, but it contextualizes them, makes them understandable, even if not acceptable. I've learned that success can be a burden, that my achievements, while earned and deserved, created comparison and resentment in someone who was struggling. That's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong by succeeding, but it's a reality of sibling dynamics, especially when one sibling feels they're always falling short. I've learned about boundaries, about protecting myself, about trusting my instincts. There were signs I ignored, red flags I explained away, warning signs I dismissed because I wanted to believe the best. I won't make that mistake again. I've also learned about grace, about extending it even when it's hard, about recognizing that people are complex, that they can do terrible things and still be worthy of love. That forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or condoning. It means releasing the anger that's poisoning you, moving forward despite the pain. To anyone who has experienced identity theft, especially by a family member, I want to say this. It's a unique kind of violation. It's not just about the practical consequences. It's about the betrayal, the invasion, the feeling that someone stole a piece of you. Those feelings are valid. You have every right to them. You also have the right to set boundaries, to protect yourself, to take time to heal. You don't owe forgiveness. You don't owe reconciliation. You get to decide what your relationship looks like going forward, or if there is a relationship at all. To adoptive families navigating complex dynamics, I want to say this. Be aware of the unique struggles adopted children face, the identity issues, the attachment challenges, the feelings of not quite belonging. These are real. They need to be addressed. They need professional support. Don't ignore them hoping they'll go away. Also be careful about comparisons, about treating children differently even unintentionally, about creating environments where one child feels less than. It's hard, especially when children have different needs, different abilities, different challenges, but awareness is crucial. To siblings who struggle with comparison and resentment, I want to say this. Your feelings are valid. It's hard watching a sibling succeed while you struggle. It's painful feeling like you're always coming up short, but stealing their identity isn't the answer. Pretending to be them won't make you feel better about yourself. It will only create more problems. Get help, real help, therapy, support groups, professional guidance. Work on your own identity, your own path, your own definition of success. Stop measuring yourself against others. It's a losing game. You'll never win by being someone else. You can only win by being fully yourself. I'm 32 years old now. My relationship with my sister is complicated. We're rebuilding, slowly, carefully, with lots of boundaries and honest conversations. I don't know if we'll ever be close again, but we're trying. That has to count for something. My marriage is stronger, going through this crisis together, supporting each other, being honest about our feelings. It brought Alex and me closer, reminded us that we're a team, that we can weather storms together. My business survived. I rebuilt my reputation, explained what happened to clients. Most understood, some didn't, but I moved forward, kept working, kept building. Didn't let Melissa's actions destroy what I had created. I'm grateful for the lessons, painful as they were. I'm more aware now, more careful, more conscious of boundaries, more attentive to red flags, more protective of my identity and my peace. I'm also more compassionate, more understanding of human complexity, more aware that people can hurt you deeply and still be hurting themselves, more willing to extend grace, more able to hold multiple truths at once. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've experienced something similar, if you've dealt with identity theft by a family member, if you've navigated the complexity of adoption and sibling rivalry, if you're working to rebuild trust after betrayal, I'd love to hear from you. Where you are now, how you coped, what helped, what didn't, how you found your way forward. I'm still finding mine, still learning, still healing, but I'm moving forward, and that's what matters.